Hello, I'm Elena Scott with Rubber and Plastics News. Dennis Byrne with the University of Akron presented the 16th and final paper at the 2013 Hose Manufacturers Conference in Akron, Ohio. Byrne spoke about the economy and international trade as they relate to the rubber industry.
Also, the auto industry uses between 50 and 60% of all rubber. Because of that, what happens in the auto industry, or the tire industry, to put a finer light on it, is actually maybe an indicator of what's happening in the overall economy. Just in terms of the production of rubber, China is the major consumer of all kinds of rubber. The United States is second. China's growth rate is expanding very rapidly. The United States is not really moving much at all. The major feedstock of synthetic rubber is butadiene, and that's a potential bottleneck. There has been a large movement in the last few years to begin to produce more butadiene. The United States is a major producer. China is still the major importer of all kinds of rubber, but they're also beginning to increase their production of synthetic rubber feedstocks. And Brazil is rapidly increasing. They've put up a couple of major plants. Interestingly enough, the major buyers of the synthetic rubber feedstocks in Brazil are the Japanese. The Japanese have, Brazil has built a couple of huge plants. The Japanese have, by contract, actually taken much of that production already, and they're asking the Brazilians to increase, that they will buy that also. The auto industry. One of the big things of when any country begins to develop, it starts a transportation industry. It's necessary for productive capacity in an industrial economy. Secondly, if you go any place, you see people driving around, riding around, doing whatever, and their tires, and why not build our own tires? So what you see is that there is a tremendous dispersion of tire production throughout the world. The United States and Western Europe are very mature markets in terms of the tire industry for anybody who supplies them, belts and all that. You probably will not see a great growth in that. There will be a slow, steady growth, and I'll give some numbers in a minute. Newly emerging nations, China and India, China already, and that's stunning, and India will experience some growth in those markets. All right. Development, as I say, you can use the tire industry and vehicles as sort of a benchmark for other things. As economies develop and as you get more transportation and all that, all the other kinds of things, belts, hoses, industrial products, mining belts, all of those kinds of things will also increase. And so as a country moves down the development path, it will use all of the products that you are able to manufacture. Regional vehicle production by year. We'll go through this pretty quickly. If you look the United States into North America, this is Canada, the United States, and Mexico. Produced approximately 15 million vehicles. We're just about there, a little higher now. What you saw was this tremendous just collapse in the recession, followed by growth. It's estimated this year the vehicle market in the United States may approach 17 million. Seems like a great increase. Not nearly as great as it seems. A lot of it is pent-up demand. Right now, the United States has the highest average age of vehicles on the road it has ever had. Asia. It doesn't seem like there was much of a recession in Asia. It just kept going. We'll talk more about that. That's almost entirely China. South America. South America is an area, with the exception of Brazil, that just doesn't seem to be doing anything, and Brazil is having a number of problems right now themselves. So that's another area. South America and Africa don't seem to be good areas to go into at this particular juncture. Vehicle production by region. These are just percentages. North America, approximately 20%. Asia, 51%, South America. So you see North America and Western Europe, when all of the things shake out, will probably be somewhat similar. The growth area, again, is Asia. What we've already talked about. North America, if you look at it, the recession made things look a whole lot worse than it was. The recovery is making things look better. Again, in terms of the productive capacity and feedstocks and all the things that go with them. There'll be this slow, probably steady growth. And so anybody who supplies those industries will probably have to slowly grow their capacity or sell a little bit more. But there's no big surge coming there. China actually, as a matter of policy, held down the growth in their vehicle industries in the 2010 and 2012 period. So growth rates went from 30% to 4%. They are still the single largest vehicle market, single largest tire producer in the world. They could have produced a whole lot more than they did. They just decided, for a number of reasons, many of which having to do actually with labor shortages, that they had to begin to reel it in, or they would get a lot of inflation. Growing regions, China industry, Brazil, this seems to be growth. It's estimated this year the vehicle market in the United States may approach 17 million. Seems like a great increase. Not nearly as great as it seems. A lot of it is pent-up demand. Right now, the United States has the highest average age of vehicles on the road it has ever had. And many of these vehicles are imports. They're not necessarily all done here. Europe really is in a slow decline. I think that will increase, that will go on. The decline is worse now. It was in 2009, the recession grew. It's down again. There is a recession in Europe going on right now. They're beginning to show some signs coming out of it, but I do think that that actually will be pretty much in Western Europe